Hey. Thanks for joining us. Come on in. We're live. It's Stacy B, and it's Thursday night, and you are tuned in to New. Come on in.
That flash flood, it sticks. Does that flash flood?
Oh, it stopped my live because it contained music of somebody else. Somebody told me that Instagram does that now.
Good evening. It's me, it's Stacy B. And welcome to New, where I feature amazing sisters who are living out of the box lives. Do we have any aspiring authors out there this evening? Hey Linda. Hey Shakia. If we have any aspiring authors out there this evening, we have tonight's guest, Shannon Morgan, author and speaker. She's joining us right here. Stay tuned. Hey Shakia. Okay. Facebook is giving me some messages.
Is it cutting you off too?
No, not yet. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. All right, please don't forget to like and share this broadcast so others may join the conversation. Once again, if you're just joining us, Miss Shannon Morgan, author and speaker, is joining us this evening. And it's all about love. It's February, and she's joining us at the right time. Right, Shannon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let's just get started. Like I said, it's Love Month, and what better way to kick off than to have an author who has written about, you guessed it, relationships, right? So tell us a little bit about Shannon. Who is Shannon? About you as a child. Did you always want to write, or was this just something out of the box?
No, I've always written as a child, and I was introduced to writing by a best friend.
Okay.
She used to always like writing, and she would join the drama clubs after school. So I followed everything that she did. We were besties. Okay. So when she introduced me to the drama club, of course they try to get you to write your own things so that you can perform your own projects. Okay. And that's when I realized I loved writing. I loved acting, but I really loved writing. And I even took it a little further, so I started acting. When I was a teenager, I became a part of Maryland's Miss Talented Teen Pageant.
Okay.
And I wrote my own monologues for that. And I competed for about 3 years. The last year I competed, I became first runner-up. And then that was it. You know, I became an adult, so I was no longer qualified to be walking across the stage, with this big old pink gown.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I've always enjoyed it. It's always been, I feel like it's my purpose.
Okay.
I'm just...
You're just walking in it, right?
You're just
walking in it. Well, and it seems like, creatives, like you said, when you realize that you were a writer, and it's something about creatives at a young age. We just know, like I did. Like I think about when I was a child, I would just put on little shows in the backyard. I knew that it was something, and I was always a writer. So, did your writing as a child include journaling? of any type?
More like a diary.
Diary.
Yeah, and I used to write about, me and my cousin lived together, so I would probably just mostly write about how she gets on my nerves, when she got on my nerves.
Okay.
I love her to death. She's like my sister, but living in a house with another young girl your age is not easy. So I think I used to write about that a lot. I was too scared probably to write about boys, but I don't think I was even interested in boys at that time.
Okay.
So just writing about what goes on outside with your school friends. That was it. Okay. That was the bulk of it.
Wow, okay. So do you prefer to write fiction or nonfiction or both?
Fiction.
Okay. You like
I
fiction.
prefer to write fiction.
And why is that?
Because it takes me out of my normal, day to day. Like, I don't really care to write about what I'm going through.
Okay.
But on the flip side, I like helping people. And so because I like to write, I think I help people a lot with written word. But fiction is my favorite.
Okay. Well, you definitely have helped people with this book. When I, first learned of this book, it was has it been 2 years now?
About 3 years.
About 3?
Yeah.
Okay. When I first, got my hands on this book, it was so interesting. Your brother, he asked me to write a review for the book. Well, I wrote the review, and I just thought it was going to go maybe to when you go to your speaking engagements and promotions and, if you go to places that you're selling your book, that's something you put on the table on the website. And one day I happened to pick the book back up, and I read the back of the book, and I said, wait a minute.
There you were.
And I was like, there I was on the back of the book. I said, wait a minute. I had to tell Mikey. And I was so honored that you both would ask me to be a part of your project.
Yeah, like what you wrote, it was beautiful.
This book, if you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have this book, you've got to get it. For the two of you to be, I'm going to say, younger.
We are. Well, not younger.
Compared to me, you are young.
Sorry, I spoke too soon.
So, but compared to, seasoned people who have been in relationships and are still trying to navigate those waters, you are very wise in this book. I have taken some nuggets and say, okay, that's what I'm doing wrong, been doing wrong, and am I still doing wrong? Don't laugh, Derek. And so you have really good information in the book. So what happened to prompt Mr. Right meets Ms. Understood? What prompted that?
Okay, so the true story.
The true story.
So the true story is my co-author, my loving brother, Michael, actually wanted to write a book about how he was Mr. Right.
Oh, okay.
He good guy, like he's from the outside. He looks like he's amazing in relationships. So he just couldn't understand why a few of his previous relationships failed. He was attentive. He offered quality time. He did everything that he thought women wanted. And these women just basically threw it all back in his face. So he couldn't understand what the issue was. So his idea was I'm the perfect man. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not writing a book about you being a perfect man. However, on the flip side, I do agree that sometimes women say they want one thing, and then when they get it, they don't know what to do with it. And that's when I came up with Mr. Right meets Misunderstood. Okay. Mr. Right doesn't really represent the right guy for the woman. It's just any guy that she meets. It could be the bad guy. It could be the right guy. But she ruins the relationship. She ruins the possibility of any relationship because she's so misunderstood. She doesn't know what she wants. Well, she does know what she wants, but when it comes along, she settles for whatever comes along. So she doesn't give herself an opportunity to get what she's really looking for because women act out of desperation. They're tired of waiting. They see their friends in these relationships. We got Instagram, every other picture is somebody on a vacation with their boo. You know what I mean? We want that. Yeah. And then, oh God, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Oh, I know.
So I got to do a post on that, making sure people have their security in check. It's just sad. So that is the misunderstood woman. That's the misunderstood woman. She's carrying around like a bucket load of bags filled with her insecurities, her pains, her past hurts from her relationships, or even past hurts from when she was a child.
Yes, yes.
You asked me about when I was a child. A lot of times we bring stuff back from our childhood into our present life and don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? So that is the woman that we are addressing in Mr. Right Meets Misunderstood, because the end goal is for you to find stability in relationships, but more importantly, Stacey, to find, security within yourself. My favorite parts of the book are chapters 3 and 4.
Okay.
The first part of the book is broken up into 3 sections. So chapters 1 through 4 is the misconceptions of misunderstood, and chapters 5 through 8 is shopping for love. I hope I'm right. I wrote this book a long time ago, y'all.
Okay.
But, 3 and 4, it talks about claiming your baggage, revealing your baggage. It identifies just with the woman, less about her and the relationship, but about her. And it teaches her, it shows her how she's not loving herself and gives her tips on how to love herself. So those are my favorite chapters, because I personally think delving into people's intimate relationships is something like you gotta tread lightly with. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know your relationship, as well as you know it, or your close friends know it, or your pastor, or your mom and dad. I don't know your relationship, so I'm giving very general advice, which I do believe works, but you have to take it and apply it to your situation. But I am a woman, and I know what women go through. We are not that much different. We may have a different reason why we have a certain insecurity, but the insecurity is still there. So I'm about empowering us to let those insecurities, let them drop to the wayside. We all have them, and the bravest thing is to reveal the insecurity. Let people know who you are. Let people know what your issue is. Let them help you. Just be confident in who you are. That is my truest passion. Helping women.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, if you are just joining us, we are live in studio with author and speaker, Miss Shannon Morgan. Isn't she beautiful? Oh my goodness. So we are in studio live with her, and we're talking about her debut release that she co-authored with her brother, called Mr. Right Meets Misunderstood. Now, Shannon, now you said something about the women in chapters 3 and 4, and it's more about us claiming our baggage. And you said something that has been really a common thread since the show started. We've been talking about, not so overtly, but these things that we have going on have really sometimes stemmed from our past. And those are some generational issues that we may have, which is correct. So where do you think we as women make the mistake in relationships, other than carrying all this baggage? We hear the song Bag Lady,
yeah,
by Erica. So we hear that song, and you're going to miss your bus because you can't hurry up because you're carrying all this stuff. And it is so true. It's so true, Shannon. And if nobody else admits it, I, admit my own stuff, which has hindered me from having healthy relationships, period. I can say that I have not, in my if the Lord lets me, next Friday will be my 51st birthday. And in all my 51 years, I have not had a healthy relationship. And so, what do we do to, combat that, or, how do we empty that baggage?
Accountability. You have to take responsibility for what it is that you're carrying around. And, forgive me if I'm overstepping, but at 51 almost years old, you do know that you have baggage, correct?
Right.
So I think that we don't hold ourselves accountable for the part that we play in the demise of these relationships. That's just the bottom line. I really believe that men, women, we all have issues, and men are designed to fix things. So once they know what your issue is, I just say let them fix it.
Okay.
Even in your girlfriend circles, you know, if you're in a good friendship with a woman and you're being transparent with your good girlfriend, and she judges you for that, you shouldn't hide your insecurities. You shouldn't hide your baggage. This friend, in my opinion, needs to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're here to lean on each other. We need support. We cannot do it alone. We can't do it alone. We're not put here to do things alone. You know, and so this stretches far beyond male and female relationships. It's about the circle that we create. If we don't have a strong circle, then one, it's going to be harder for us to deal with our issues. But like I said, 1A, you gotta be accountable. You have to be transparent. You gotta say, okay, this is who I am. And when somebody calls you out on it, you need to say, you're right.
That's me.
I surrender. I fall back. What do I need to do? I don't want to offend you. I don't want this friendship to die. I don't want this relationship to die. What can I do to not, you know, interfere with the strength of the relationship? Because things were good, and then all of a sudden here I come with my issues, with my bag, you know, knocking stuff off your table. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And your friend will be like, I got it, sis. Let me help you pick this up. And you're like, no, you know what I mean? Because we start to protect our bags. Like, we start to,
that's good.
Yeah, we start to protect our baggage. It's like our baggage becomes a part of us. How dare you talk about why I'm so aggressive? I'm so aggressive because what happened to me when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So I take that very personally because you don't know my pain. You know what I'm saying? You don't know why I'm this way. So we become very attached to that baggage. We have to want peace in our lives. And if we know that the baggage is hindering us from getting that peace, then, you know, I'm like this when I'm talking to people. Listen, here's your here's your black and here's your white. It's just that simple. You can live in that shade of gray all you want to, but it's A or B. Which one you going to pick? Wow. And if you pick B, it's like, okay, I don't think you should pick B, but it's your life. You do what you want to do, but own up to that. Own up to your decision to be B.
To be B.
Okay.
And
I want to say that because I wanted to sound like.
Not to be a B.
Right, not to be.
See, okay. 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 Let's refocus. Okay. So, this is so good. I'm trying to make sure we keep our time here. Okay. So this is so good. Again, if you are just joining us, and folks who are watching live, if you would please respond to let me know if you're still seeing this live on the new website. I got a message from Linda who is watching. She said, let people know where to get it. It is not on the personal page. It is on the New Empowered Woman Facebook page. That's N.E.W, New Empowered Woman. It will pop up. You would have to like the page for access to the live. So if you would please show me some response that you can still see this, and if not, we will pause and start again after the break. So Shannon, before we get into anything else, we're going to wait until the end of the break to come back and talk to you about what you're working on now. But although I still want to talk so much about this book, it's just like, you know, you are so helping me, you know, in your observations of men and women. So we are I think we have a couple more seconds. We have about a minute before we have to break. So now, with all of the women and, you know, our baggage, what part do the men play? Where are their issues?
I can't speak for men and their issues. I don't know what their issues are. It's so funny because I was watching The Breakfast Club the other day. And I don't know if you guys know Devon Franklin.
Yes.
Okay. So he's on there. Guys, if y'all don't know, that's Megan Good's husband. But anyway.
Oh, wow. And I do want to hear you talk about that. I don't mean to cut you off, but we have about 20 seconds, and I don't want you to get into that and cut that off because I want to hear about that. I saw him.
You did,
and I don't know if that's the same program that I saw because I don't know what the Breakfast Club is.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the movie.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, we are going to be right back. We are going to listen to Erykah Badu, and we will be right back.
All right, y'all. I think Instagram is going to cut off because Erykah Badu is playing, so stay tuned. You are so funny, Stacey.
And I actually just lied. We're not listening to Erykah. We're listening to Molly music. Erykah Badu plays in the background when we're talking.
Oh, okay. Oh, it must can't pick it up then.
So
Instagram straight cut me off.
So I don't know what's going on. Your mother responded to me. I'm not sure. I'm going to stop and start again.